Yes.
Okay, cool. So let's see. This is... That's basically the idea I came up with for electric guitar, right? Plus this... I don't remember what it is now. Some kind of sixth verse idea thing. But I kind of want to try and take this. So this is rooted in something I used to do when I write my own songs on acoustic and then transfer them over to electric. Was I just kind of create their own versions.
Yeah.
Right. So the first idea that comes to mind is maybe, can you play that riff quick? Just so we can remind my brain what it sounds like. Okay, all right. Where does that go? I don't need to learn it. But I'm just toying with it. So it's like, I got this. So we have like a D add 9 to an E sus4, back to E. So I kind of want a different voicing for the. I like the D thing there.
Yeah.
But maybe we can do. I'll just do like a. It's kind of a hard one to do a sus on that shape. Let's try maybe this one. That's pretty hard too. What if I did like a...
Ooh, I like that.
That could be kind of cool just as a strum thing and keeping that D as a pedal. In which case, let's see. I do like that. And then going. You know. Okay,
I like the movement inside the chords that you're doing.
Yeah. Something like that. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I'll roll with that idea. Now, I got to try it out in context, obviously, since we can't live jam together, which sucks. I can't.
We should try this a minute, though. I was thinking about this.
Okay.
Because if I just ignore you, like I usually when I play, and by ignore you I mean timing, because I don't. Yeah. Right. That makes sense.
Sure.
That wasn't a sentence. I'm doing a lot of non-sentences.
It makes sentence.
2, 3, 4.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah. I think that works.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Lay down the track. I'll put it all together, and we'll go from there.
Now, since I've already broken the ice with drop D tuning with Wild Hearts, I can do it. I'm allowed to.
I wondered when you brought up pedal steel, the DV and that, or your pedal note. Yeah, I like that.
Ooh, and I really like that G sharp over it, because it's that like sharp 4 sound, right? Which is
I'll agree
cool.
with you.
Right? I don't know how well you can hear the chord, because obviously you're.
No, I can. No, it's that texture you're adding, and I've said this a lot as I kick microphones. It's the fact that, I mean, like, listen to how simple a part this is, right? And then you adding that texture inside of there.
Yeah, that's what I'm just doing.
Yeah. And I know we were saying like, hey, we're writing this out acoustically, but that would sound great like on a Strat.
Well, that's the thing is okay, so it may have been somewhat misleading the way I phrased it, but what I did was I found that naturally some parts gravitate to transmutations of themselves, or permutations, whatever, some other version of themselves. So like when I have this song called Let It Burn, right?
Yeah.
And it was originally acoustic, and it had this line. Had this like walk down thing. Anyway, it's been many years since I played that. But that one turned into, in the electric version, this.
Yeah.
Right? It became this low end, distorted, overdriven guitar sound. Yeah. It became just really fat and juicy. And like instead of like a melody layer on the song, it became a rhythm layer on the song.
Yeah.
So that's
became the groove.
Like, yeah. And it worked, to me, that worked out really well. And it just it was like the acoustic version was a foundation of ideas, in which I didn't use all of them. I had many layers on the acoustic guitar version, but I just like I picked and chose like what worked when I transferred it over to electric. It's like, oh, and that works in this. And it was very organic too. Like I didn't have to think hard about these changes I made. It just kind of came. So like this. I mean, maybe that ends up being an acoustic strum on the electric version, or it ends up being a clean Strat strum or something.
Yeah.
And maybe it doesn't. Maybe it even turns into like a.
An arpeggio, right? Yeah.
Some whatever. Yeah.
Well, and what I think is good about that though, we've had this before where we start demoing everything out on electrics and we kind of get burnt out before we've done the initial recording.
Yep. And then you lose some of the soul when you do the recording.
Yeah. So I'm digging this idea, so we can kind of get all these ideas kind of pinpointed, right? And then you get to fucking fuck around with tone and changing the part a little bit to fit the groove of the song when we add drums into it and everything. I dig.
Totally. And then it lets us kind of flesh out the heart of the song without losing the soul of the song. Yeah. As well as gives us the opportunity to then later on set whatever tempo we really want to as the final product. Yeah. Maybe do it slower, maybe do it faster on acoustic than we're going to do it electric. Who knows?
Speaking of that, we had this idea that we were going to slow down Higher Ground. Totally forgot about it. Did not feel the tempo at all when we were shooting the music video. I felt everything was great. The minute I pulled it up on my headphones the other day to just jam to it, I was like, oh my God, this song's fucking fast. But, yeah.
It was like... And it could have been like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like them both, too, because the fast one's a little bit more rock and roll. The slow one's a little bit more groove.
I think the fast one really works on the...
Yeah, of course.
Because I can just hear like...
Chorus starts to drag.
Yeah, it feels a little bit like, well, drag is the word, so that's the word I'm going to use. It feels like it's dragging. You could turn it into like a cafe style song that way. Acoustic and a little, like you don't go up the octave, you keep the vocals down an octave, it's just chill and vibing. Yeah, you can totally do that. But it changes the vibe of the song, right?
Changes the attitude.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean there's definitely there's a place for each,
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, that's essentially what happens a lot of times when someone does a cover of a song, right? And they do their rendition of it, and they turn it into whatever vibe they want it to have that's very different from the original, right?
Yep. No, it's what makes it fun to, their perspective of it, their take of it.
Right. I was just thinking about Lonely Lover, and like, because it's kind of a... it's rhythms, at least not the drums, but like the bass guitar. It's kind of rooted in like South American Latin rhythms, and it's like you could totally just take the Latin element out of that one and turn it into a country song or a straight rock song, or or anything, and it'd be so different, right?
There's only so many chords, there's only so many rhythms, there's only so many everything, right? Like, so it's fun to see where we can push stuff and pull stuff and learn, I guess, is a good way to say it. So,
I just love that line.
It's a great fucking line. All right, well, let's keep on working on Blue Light and we'll go from there.
Yep. Okay, so we got this. My favorite word. Yeah. Or even just a dead note. All right. So that's one idea. Now, just thinking about that's the. Have we decided what section of the song that's for even?
That's really the intro, and that idea is carried out through the verse, but my part goes away, like, because you always take my cool parts away from me. oh, Luke, you wrote something interesting that can begin the song? Good, you can use it once.
Okay, so that means that in this acoustic rendition idea we're working with, this strum I just came up with could be kind of the backbone of the verse.
Yep.
So then you get to come up with a new part to go along with that.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I like. So after you track on top of mine for the intro, and then I'll track on top of yours for the verse. Ooh,
Yep.
that's Interesting.
Little flipperoo on you there.
Yeah. And do you remember? I want to play the lead on the chorus. I have an idea.
Okay.
So, so it'd be two flips.
And the chorus, if I remember correctly, is. Something like that, right? Something like that. Ah. Yeah.
Not played perfect by me either, but.
There we go. That's what it is. Cool.
And again, the intro and the verse is in 2/4, and this is in 4/4.
Right. We still need to definitely figure out the transitions between the verse into the chorus and the chorus into the verse, because I've played around with a few ideas and I haven't got like a happy transition back into the verse.
Okay.
I think we need to play with that too, but I think the verse going into the chorus is an easier, smoother transition.
For sure.
Because you're going from basically... Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty easy to go from E to E. Or even... Which is like an A major 7 to E.
Yeah, we just need to find a little bit of a connection. I think in a previous video we might have something too, so I'll get that done and looked at so we can kind of see what an option was before and look at it with new eyes.
Cool.
Or older eyes.
So that means what I'll do is I'll track that strum over your part, and then I'll track a strum for the chorus using those chords, and then you can play with your lead idea.
Yeah. Now, my lead idea, as much as I mocked you to in an earlier video that we released this week, there's a song that the Edge uses I think he uses a quarter note delay and an eighth note delay, and it's just an epic soundscape, and I think it would fit so well with this because there's so much room. So I'm excited and nervous about it, but I can kind of hear an idea in my head.
That could be kind of cool as this kind of a background part to the chorus. So we could do I'm not a big fan of dominant 7 chords sometimes. Going into, so we can stay on the B actually. G sharp is fine. That's still fine. Wrong. Brain sending signals to the wrong fingers. Something like that over the G, maybe. And then G sharp rather. And then go into the A, go to the C sharp, hit that E, hit that G sharp. I don't know. That's kind of a cool idea. Yeah. So putting it all together somehow. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I could hear that in there.
It'll probably be a bit simpler than that even. I just want it to be like this. And yeah, something just really floaty. Mm-hmm. And then it's going to the C sharp where we could hit. Jump to the F sharp, so we can start with the 5th. We can just keep that. Oh no, it's going to B. What am I thinking of? We can do this rising thing. That's kind of working out. That's doing it for me. little fall here to the G sharp, which gives us maybe like. Something along those lines. I'll have to play along with the actual chorus after you put in your lead line to figure out what fits the best. Because I don't want it to clash.
I think if you give me that part after you track the rhythm, track that part, I think my part and your part just need to be synced. I think I can play off of that idea.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Cool. All right, we both have some work to do.
Sounds good to me.
All right, you have a good one.
See you.